Hello, Mark here, bringing you a climactic bonus episode. What do smartphone apps, food waste, and discounted food have in common? That's what I'm hoping to answer in this episode when I sit down for a chat with Jane Coe, an entrepreneur here in Melbourne who's behind Bring Me Home, a smartphone app that's a marketplace for excess food. Listen on to hear Jane's story of how she came up with the idea, how she was audacious enough to launch the company, and for a few of my own experiences in using the app for the first time. Enjoy! So thank you for sitting down with me, Jane. It's nice to meet you. What is this app all about? What are you trying to do?
So how I got into it was actually during my master's degree when I did a paper on food waste. I was looking at solutions overseas to see, which country or which continent is the best at doing the best practices to cut food waste. I came across this other startup called Too Good To Go. They are based in Europe, so their headquarters in Denmark. They started in Denmark, and within 3 years' time, they were able to expand to over 7 countries.
Wow.
So now
That's a good thing about Europe, though, is the proximity, right?
Yeah, and the population really helps. So I actually worked for them because I just thought it'd be cool to get some experience and learn from the founders. So yeah, after my paper, I just reached out to the CEO on LinkedIn and said, hey, I would love to work with you. Let's have a chat. And then fast forward 2 weeks later, I got myself a job.
Well done.
Thank you. So that was pretty cool. I was just super excited, secured a job before I graduated. But then things kind of went slightly downhill because I was trying to get them to do it in Australia, but because of the proximity issue, there were a lot of technical issues that they were not able to respond immediately. And also they were just pouring a lot of resources into Australia, which was probably not the best strategy for them at that stage. A few months later, they just told me that, they wanted to pull back from the expansion and just relocate all the resources back in Europe. That was a month before I graduated. I lost a job. And
so you both gained a job before graduation and lost it.
Yeah, and I was pretty devastated. After I graduated, I literally just, I thought, well, I missed out all the grad programs. There's nothing for me to apply. I did try and apply. I did get a couple offers. It just didn't feel right. And then a month after I graduated, I went on Shark Tank. Not on Shark Tank. I went to watch an episode on Shark Tank. And then I just saw this episode. It was really bad product, but they were selling so well. And I just thought to myself, well, if they can do it, I could do it too. And so I contacted the former co-founders and I said, hey, I want to do this. Do I have your support or not? And they're like, yes, you have all our support. I really hope you do well. That was a really good validation / getting initial support from people that have already succeeded. And so yeah, that's how I started Bring Me Home. It's kind of like the phoenix from the ash.
How much of the product you've built is kind of sort of emulating what they're doing, or is there any kind of particular spin you've put on it for the Australian market?
The whole UX UI design is very different now. Branding as well. So the reason why I used orange was because I wanted to create a very vibrant vibe, whereas they are more the green, eco, which is nice too, but I just prefer something more appetizing to look at.
Definitely.
And I noticed, so before I started Bring Me Home, I actually spoke to a lot of customers, a lot of vendors, trying to understand the way they think. Customers here, they are becoming more eco-conscious, but not as much as Europeans. For that reason, a lot of them still think that surplus food is disgusting or surplus food is not edible. So we're trying to change that mindset to educate them that it's actually edible. It's just, you have to buy them before the business closes, otherwise it's going to go to waste. We did a lot of branding around that area to really educate customer, create that vibe. And then in terms of vendors, a lot of them are actually quite sensitive about pricing to begin with. They could do a lot with surplus food. Maybe they could give it to employees, maybe they will save it for the next day, but they never really prioritize, try to get rid of it at the same day. Yeah. So that's what we try to encourage, because as customers, you want to eat things fresh. So it would be better if they can sell it today and not leave it tomorrow to sell. And because of that, we have changed the strategies and go-to-market plans completely compared to what Too Good To Go had. Initially, we'd like to target students and university students who are eco-conscious and also cost-conscious. And then later on, once that momentum is up and running, we can then target a wider audience, people that in the workforce.
I asked Jane if it had been difficult to convince food vendors to offer their food at a discount. I was curious if she'd received any resistance from owners not keen to devalue their food.
Yeah, we try to get all the vendors to do 50%, but a lot of them just like 50% is too steep, blah, blah, blah. So
You'd rather throw it in the
we actually have vendors that said that, and I was so pissed when I heard, like, are you serious? But, I think it's the matter of building trust in the initial stage. We just say, look, we're happy to have you decide your discount. Just letting you know, if you don't discount enough, people might not come and buy. So we give them the whole flexibility. And once they see that value within the first month of operation, they might probably, drive down the prices a little bit. Vendors that cannot predict how much they have left at the end of the day, we always get them to actively put up meals before they close, maybe 2 hours before they close, and estimate how much will be left. There are also vendors like, for example, sushi shops. They will always have leftover sushis. They are the ones that will actually use the pre-scheduling feature, where they will be able to say, pre-schedule 5 portions every day, so they don't have to actively manage, but they can also change the portion whenever they need to.
So I asked Jane what places I should try, because I was keen to test out the app.
I love sushi, and that's why I personally onboarded 3 other sushi stores last week, because I'm like, I would buy from them. But there's also a lot of Indian restaurants around. I really, really like their food. It's actually very tasty. Also, I was super excited when we got Taco Bell on board. So they usually sell 1 taco for $5, but we have a deal 2 tacos for $5. So I will be trying that for lunch. There's also Italian food. So A25 Pizzeria has also partnered with us, and the owner is very generous that you can choose anything from the menu in the salad and pizza pasta section. We try to manage expectations because, and that's another twist from Too Good To Go. Too Good To Go, they do magic box. So people don't really know what they're getting. And one thing I noticed is that Australians don't like surprises in terms of food. They like to know what they will be getting. So we're trying to manage the expectations through the vendor description, saying what you can expect when you purchase a portion. So for instance, sushi's, $5, you might be able to get 3 rolls from a vendor. And for example, Taco Bell, if it's $5, then we say you will get 2 tacos. You can choose between chicken, beef, or vegetarian. So we try to give as much information as possible as well. So we partnered with a couple restaurants that will be cooking fresh, so order by demand. And so for example, A25 Pizzeria, the way they operate in the back kitchen is that they pre-cook a lot of pasta and then store it in the fridge. So whenever someone orders, they just heat it up and then make the sauce from fresh. Otherwise, they might have to throw away the pasta. So that's how we identified the restaurant partners that we want on board to also help them cut kitchen order, or kitchen inventory waste.
Displayed prominently on the Bring Me Home website is their partnership with the charities Second Bite and Oz Harvest. So I asked Jane what that was all about.
Oz Harvest and Second Bite, they're the two of the largest food rescue organizations. Second Bite, I think they're either partnered with Coles or Woolies, and then Oz Harvest is the other one. So they partnered with the 2 biggest supermarket chains and also other wholesalers to get the rejects, get the leftovers, and redistribute them or cook them up and redistribute the cooked meals to people in need. The reason why we want to partner with them is because our mission completely aligns. They're trying to cut food waste, plus they're trying to address that food insecurity issue. And that is the second issue we're trying to address, but maybe later on when we're operating and steady.
Yeah, so here my fidgeting came back to bite me and I dropped my pen on the ground.
So that partnership entails just pretty much featuring them on our app, where people will be able to donate straight away. Initially, the feature was that they can add, up to $2 donation to their bill to donate to the charities.
That's great.
But unfortunately, App Store recently released a new privacy policy or terms and conditions. We're not able to do that anymore. And so what we have done is that we put just hyperlinks of these charities, and people can click directly to their website and donate through that as well. Fantastic. So we just wanted to get people to help, because $1 donation means a lot. So for Oz Harvest, $1, they can deliver 2 meals to someone in need, and then Second Bite, they can do 4 to 5 meals to someone in need. Wow. So very, very cool.
So when you use Bring Me Home and you're smart people and you like a bargain, and you hate food waste, so I know you will, take advantage of how easy they've made it to donate to these amazing organizations.
We're hoping to kind of integrate our APIs with their app, so they have apps as well. Excellent. And we'll be able to send volunteers real time to pick up whatever that's left. I think human capacity or human resources right now is also one of their problems. They only have a limited amount of people that is able to help at different locations at different times. If that is not able to happen, we might actually build a volunteer base that could do that. The other day, I was just doing a test run with a sushi vendor that I signed up. I purchased 3 sushi rolls, and then I went to the vendor. She's like, oh, we're about to close. Do you want more sushi? We literally have like 40 sushi rolls. And I'm like, what are you doing with that? Please bring it home. The employee's like, we can't bring it home. Like, we always take these home. We're sick of it. But they just have to throw it away because they can't keep the sushis for the next day for sale. It's the food regulation rules. Because that day they actually put up over like 20 portions to sell. And each portion like involves 3 rolls. So I just felt really bad. And so I just purchased, extra 6 rolls and gave it to my coworkers. So yeah, it's like, imagine how many of these stores are in Australia, nationwide. And they're throwing a bunch of food out every single day, and it's just so perfect to eat. Like, I need help.
Yes.
Want more people to get on to like rescue food now.
And eat good food cheap as well.
Yeah, so save the planet, save some money.
That's right.
It's a triple win. For example, yesterday we had one customer repeat purchase like 3 times. Fantastic. And I just emailed her like saying, thank you so much, like you are amazing. And I just asked her for feedback and things like that. She's like, oh, I love the concept, I'm just like super busy, but this is great, like, because it really fits her schedule. So definitely like employees in the city area or even just co-working space entrepreneurs would be great.
Can I ask a little bit about the team behind this? So
yeah, sure.
You're driving this, of course, but who else?
We have a team of 10 other people. So a lot of them are volunteers still. And one of them is actually a contractor that built our tech. And I literally call him my CTO, Chief Tech Officer, all the time because he's been on the ride with me since, day one, and he's amazing. I love him. And then recently we got another full-time girl, Jen. She's so great. Like, I think without her, we won't be able to do such a good launch. She's just such a gun. She's like nailing all the social media sales stuff, and I'm just so happy. And the rest are like, majority of them are actually University of Melbourne students. Some of them are my friends, and they reached out because they just want to help, with the mission. And we also have like 2 other students from Monash University, came across Bring Me Home, really loved the concept and just wanted to help out. Pretty big team.
I'm quite surprised by 10 people. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I struggled to ask this question well, but luckily I can just say it here instead. I asked Jane how important climate change considerations were to her in starting the business.
I was always impact driven. To be able to achieve those sort of impact, we need to be a sustainable business, and that's why I'm bringing this other sort of revenue model aside to it to sustain the operations. It's not easy to onboard, hundreds and thousands of vendors on board. You need to pay people. That's why we bring in that revenue model. But being mission driven is always the core of Bring Me Home, because ultimately food waste is the issue that really pisses me off, boils my blood every time I see people having food left over on the plates. Scraps are okay, but if it's half a bite of a burger and they leave half, I can't deal with it. I was just thinking, if we are able to get customers to change their behavior slightly and, adapt to some technology that can able to help the environment, it would be such a scalable way to make an impact. Because a lot of people, young people that I speak to, they always feel like they're too small to make an impact. But it's not true. I think there's a quote that my mom taught me. It was from Gandhi. If you think a mosquito is too small to make an impact, try sleeping with it for a night. You wake up with multiple bites. And so I always have this quote stuck into my head, and I'm just thinking everyone can make an impact. Just like that, customer we had yesterday, she literally rescued 3 meals a day. If we can multiply that customer to hundreds, thousands, every day we'll be saving so much waste from going to the bin. And so we always emphasize, let's try and make an impact one meal at a time, because one meal means a lot to someone else that doesn't have food, will be starving. If we can do anything to reduce food waste, we would. And that's why I've been thinking about onboarding more volunteers to do, pickups and maybe drop them off at homeless centers and other centers that need food in the future. So yeah, it's always embedded the core to the Bring Me Home culture as well. I just love the listeners to spread the word, if that's okay. We've got Facebook, Instagram, and we always publish live deals. And sometimes when we come across a vendor that needs immediate rescue, for example, that store that had 40 sushi rolls, we'll put it on the Instagram and really help people to go and help. So please follow us on social media and also follow us on our newsletter as well to get the most updates, and spread the word would be great.
Fantastic. Well, I'm gonna say it now, so I'm holding myself responsible. I will use the app. I'll purchase a meal. I'll document the process as well.
Yeah.
And sort of be able to share my my joy in saving food from the bin.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks.
I've just stopped here by Southern Cross Station. Sorry for the bit of noise. And I'm just about to use Bring Me Home for the first time. So I've had a look at the map, and I found a squall that does sandwiches and gives you free coffee for every order. And boy, could I use a coffee. Pickup is between 4:30 and 6 o'clock, and it's $4.50, so I'm good to go. So rather than $9 for a portion, it's just $5.50. So I'm going to go to checkout, buy one of those, $5.60, 10-cent transaction fee. That's fantastic. That's not bad at all. I'm looking forward to when I can use Apple Pay, but I guess that's down the road. And I only have to do that once because it will remember my card, which is great, and I'm paying $5.60. So I'm now at the Spencer Outlet Mall. I've successfully got my half-price chicken and avocado sandwich. Tastes amazing. It smells great. And I'd say that was a success for my first attempt to use Bring Me Home. Thanks, Jane.
The Climactic Collective.